Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Rosehill Gardens this week. In a bit of a surprise, race number 3 is the Group 3 Magic Night Stakes for the fillies. A week out from the slipper over the 1200 metres, and I'm with Pembrey on top here. I think that this horse is hard to beat and has been really well backed early. James McDonald retains the ride. I just don't think anything went right for this horse last start, from being held up at a crucial stage where this horse looks to be needing to build its revs. Let it Eagle Farm on debut, build its revs, and away it went, basically untouched. And it was over the 1,000 metres there, straight up to the 1,100 metres last start. And I think can take the race here with authority and be a live chance going into the slipper next weekend. They will have to come up against has to go up against the boys. Sorry, it was 1,200 in this Sweden race, 1,000 to 1,200. I got that wrong. But I think can run really well here and deserves favouritism. Kieran Starr in for second. Out of the Sweden brace was 3 wide the trip and had no chance. They kept Pembrey in a pocket, was still running on well. Run told late in the piece though. Hellenic Bell has jumped out really well, and jumped out and trialled really well, and I think can race well here. And Zoo Dazzler in for fourth. If this horse puts its mind on the job on race, they could be anything. But Pembrey for mine in the Magic Night, I think she can take the race with authority here and stamp her class towards the slipper next week. Race number 4 at Rosehill is the Group 3 Pago Stakes for the tab over the 1,200 metres, and I'm with Warwoven. He's been dubbed as the Golden Slipper winner for a long time. He's the best 2-year-old colt we've seen in a while, and I think he's the best 2-year-old of this season. I think with that, he can stamp his class towards the slipper next week in the big one. He bolted in his first 2 starts. He only got beaten a length last start. First up, no trial in between runs since being scratched in a dramatic fashion for the Magic Millions. I think if his best shows up here from the wide draw, look out, they won't beat him. Star of Jamaica in for second. This horse is drawn wide, but with Nash aboard, I hope that they go forward on this horse, because I think that at $13 he is over the odds. Central Europe in for third. James McDonald and Chris Waller. Well, he was ultra impressive last start and came from behind Warwoven, but draws wide again here, and the ESP doesn't have him the best going into this, considering he started $51 last start, and Warwoven started at $1.95, and I think is under the odds at $2.30, and Forest King in for fourth. But Warwoven for me, hopefully he wins this and wins the big one next week. Race number 5 at Rosehill is the Group 3 Asahi Dry Sky High Stakes over the 2,000 metres, and with the scratching of Birdman, who I was with and thought was a very, very good chance, I am now with Vauban on top, and I think that this horse can stamp his authority and class here. While he was beaten in last preparation, he was in some very good races, being the Caulfield Melbourne Cup and the Metropolitan. While I think he's better over further, he did win this race last year. Tim Clark aboard, and I think can run very well and win, even if he's drawn wide. Wootton Verney in for second. Again, James McDonald, Chris Waller, third up. Barrier 7, well back with the scratching of Birdman, I think can run well. Solar Spain in for third. Tommy Berry for Chris Waller, third up, coming out of the Very Elegant behind Autumn Glow, and draws well. And River of Stars, another one for Waller in the race, definitely will need further, but has the lightweight of 54 kilos and can be running on late. But Vauban, in a race where Waller storms the castle, I think that Waterhouse and Bott can prove to be hard to beating here with Vauban and Tim Clark in the saddle. Race number 6 at Rosehill is the Group 3 Morris McCartan Stakes over the 1,100 metres, and I've got King's Secret on top. I think that this horse is a star on the rise, 6 from 11 with 2 seconds and 2/3, winning 2 races last preparation in its campaign, running third the other time, and it won a stakes race last time out, being the It won the Canterbury Sprint, beating the Instructor and Barber with the lightweight, and I think has a winnable weight here and has a good draw, importantly, considering it jumped from a couple of wide draws last preparation. So I think King's Secret can run really well and win here. Enriched is the class runner of the field, I feel. Third up, Tommy Berry in the saddle for Michael Freeman, and can run well, though has to carry the weight to win. Mel Coop's absolutely flying, has a couple of last start wins Under James McDonald, winner of his last 5 in a row. Winona Costin back in the saddle with the lightweight, could run well, but up in grade. And Kirk Whalen. I think that this horse might be settling too far back in a race that lacks speed, but I still think he'll run well. King Seeker for mine and the Morris McCartan. Hopefully the best horse proves to be winning form. Race number 7 at Rosehill is the Group 2 Far Lap Stakes over the 1500 metres, and James McDonald and Chris Willer combined, and I'm with it. Sixties. He's the best horse in the race, and he's my best bet at Rosehill. Yes, he's short, but he should just win. Coming out of the Guineas in Melbourne, previously to that, bolted in the Sears Hayes. So you'd have to say that he's been in higher grade than the rest of these, and he's hard fit, importantly, where most of these are only at their second up run for their campaign or cannot win. And the only other chance I thought in the race was Panova, and Panova draws wide. Yes, he draws wide, but it shouldn't matter. He's the best horse in the race, and off his first up win, we know he can run. He can be explosive. He could even be 2 lengths off his best and still bolt in. I think he's just too good for this field. Panova gets in with a lightweight and is another one of the Waller stablemate to the winner, in my opinion, in Sixties, and can run well. Bolted in over the Carnival at Flemington at its last win. And was a little bit disappointing first up, though. Can run well here, like I've said. Shangri-La Boy likely goes forward from a good draw. Natural Will in the settle for Waterhouse and Bite and Top Reward. Can he mix it with the best of them in Sydney for Clayton Douglas? Willow in the settle? We'll find out. But 60s, in my opinion, a good thing in the Far Lap. And as we take a leaderboard for last man standing, the Seminator is $10 behind, and I'm 605. Haven't registered to collect this time in, but for the competition yet, but I'm hoping to do so this weekend. And the Seminator has had an all right go at it. He's only $10 behind, so he's not too far in the red. And as we take a look at how the Seminator will end up back in the green, $100 all up, both the win on Never Ordinary in 60s. Honestly, those two should win, and he should be back in the green next week. And as we have a look at what I'm doing for the last man standing this weekend, and I'm going to have 150 to win top spend on Rosehill Gardens Race 6, number 4, King's Secret. Rosehill Gardens Race 8 is the Group 1 Coolmore Classic over the 1500 metres, and James McDonald and Chris Waller combine on the favourite in Lazzura, drawn barrier 8 with the 58 kilos. Class run of the race, but I haven't got her on top. I've got I Dancer on top, and I think that this horse is hard to beat. Zach Lloyd in the settle, Peter Moody and Kath Coleman. We know how explosive they've been with selected runners running during the carnival. Obviously, she's an alibi last weekend, bolting in the Randwick Guineas, and I think that I Dancer can prove hard to beat here. Should be able to find some cover from the outside draw. Has 3 kilos on Lazzura, which I think that'll be telling late in the piece, and is hard fit third up, and is already a Group 1 winner and coming out of the best form reference, in my opinion, being this around at Group 1 level behind Tempted. Lazzura thought she was there to win last start, picked on the run late, being only first up and beaten by Sinso. Though having said that, Sinso was only coming out of benchmark grade, so it's a little bit of a dent in the armour for Lazzura, but at her best, we know she's a very good horse and is up to Group 1 level, though has to carry the weight penalty here from being competitive in the past. Silacap in for third, I thought could run really, really well at $26. Hasn't done a lot this preparation, but with 51 kilos on her back, with Rachel King in the saddle, coming from 1200 through from 1300 to the Millie Fox, now up to the 1500 metres, where we know she runs her best races over the 1500, 1600 metres. She can run well at $26. And Sinso, who beat Lazzura last start, in 4-4. But I've got a late answer on top in the Coolmore. Hopefully we can see this horse sprout wings and run over the top of them late. Race number 9 at Rosehill Garden is the Ajax Stakes at Group 2 level over the 1500 metres, and I've got Lord Penman on top. And I think that this horse, while he's up in grade here, can take it with authority. He bolted in first up off being well backed in a very good run to win. Zach Lord in the settle for Chris Waller with the 53 kilos. I think that he's a very, very good winning chance. And while he is up in grade, he's the horse that's progressive Drops in weight from last start, dropping 4 kilos in weight. So I just think, box ticker here. He's only up 100 meters in distance. Drops in weight, like I've said, and up in grade. I think it all spells a win here. And at 460, he looks over the odds. Globe in for second. He's the class runner of the field by some way, though has to carry the weight, though should go forward from the wide draw. Tommy Berry in the saddle, and the sting out of the track should suit him. He's suited being a Group 1 winner in the race and can do it from the front. Militarize in for third. I sacked this horse a long time ago. And he hasn't won in 3 years. Keeps poking through to have that inspirational run late. But James McDonald in the settle for Chris Waller inside draw. It just spells disaster in my opinion. Not because of the jockey booking or the trainer, just the horse. And Exuto in for fourth. Thinking he might run in Melbourne, but if he runs here, he's got great 1400 metre form. He's got form around the right horses and can win. But I'm with Lord Penman in the Group 2 Ajax Stakes to finish the day. Thank you everyone for watching my preview for Rosehill Gardens. Hope you've enjoyed it and I hope I found a couple of winners here. There's a couple of nice prizes that if they get up, I'll look like a genius. But hope you've enjoyed the preview again and I'll see you next weekend for the big one, Golden Slipper Day.